Stardate 12345. Captain Boogie with the Starship Perverted Podcast. Trying to get into podcast. Okay, I was trying to be funny.
Is it a podcast?
It's a part. Do you guys record a podcast?
Yeah, we're ready to record ourselves a podcast. That's a part of a cast because we might not get the whole cast because we got a fat ass and that's not going to last.
Hey, I got a fat ass. Shut up.
Well, can I I've never, this is it. This is the first time ever in my life I have asked someone for this. Can I borrow just like 3 pounds of your ass?
Sure, I'd love to give you more than that if you'd like.
No, I just need like enough because I lost a lot of weight and it all left my ass now it's awful.
You're assless.
And it's not just not having an ass. It's there's 3 giant folds where there used to be an ass.
Oh.
Like I will never, like it's Jewish. I just became fully Orthodox. Like you are getting a dick through a hole in my underwear. Like there is no way I am exposing, and I do squats, I work out like 5 days a week. And so the other muscles are coming back a little bit, but the ass is like meh. And I used to have a great big round fucking compliment Boogie's ass. And now no.
Can you fold the flaps together and then like throw them out like wings, like you've talked about, like you could
kind
of
the
squirrel?
Oh yeah. If we jumped out a plane, the human testicle that is Boogie could save lives. Like a fucking flying squirrel. Just literally jump out. Hey, kids, jump on my back to safety.
And then you hear the skin just come out.
This is why
oh my God.
Adds to the reason. This is. Hey,
you know what we didn't do?
Kill ourselves?
No. Start a show.
1, 2, 3, 4. Do you feel your sex life is quite lame? Scared that your desires might be strange? Come and join the kinky world of play. Perverted Podcast.
Woo! Flap, 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 flap. Soaring high over the sky. High in the sky. It's Ass Flap Man. Hello and welcome to Perverted Podcast, the show where we soar over the sky with ass flaps and talk about kink, perversion, and sadness.
We're recording on Zencaster, where lately I've been indulging in lots of chemical play, followed by strong, deep, thuddy beatings. I'm Path Girl.
I'm Count Boogie. Let's get away from my sick ass and get to what's going on with yours.
No, it's not what you think. I threw my back out, so I've been dousing myself in Bengay and using a Theragun.
Oh, one of those poundy guns?
Yes, actually, my job gives us money back in a medical spending account. I'm like, fuck it, I want something good and thuddy, so I got a Theragun. So
do those things? It's like the ball at the end, like it's a straight kink tool. It's a straight.
No, yeah, I probably could.
And they have the ones that have 16 balls.
Yeah, I got the basic one. Yeah.
It's just how many balls? How many balls?
I think it's got I think it's got 1, and then it's got an attachment that's got 3. So.
Oh, okay. So do those things actually help? I mean, they got to feel good.
I just started doing it, and it was more painful yesterday than, it was very painful, and it's just because I was just, happy homeowner pulling all weeds in my yard for an hour and a half, and then all of a sudden my body's like, fuck you. So, the back of my legs have been killing me, and it's just, so it was really painful to do. I'm walking a little better today, but I'm going to hit it again after the podcast.
So it helps. It helps. Yeah. I'm just wondering when we're going to put some spit or lube on that thing and see what it can really do.
You probably could somebody's probably put a dick on one of those and did it. So there you
go. I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
I am absolutely sure there is some Perverted Podcast member or member of the kink community that has
pounding a badge or a clit. Yeah,
absolutely. Or even so, how big is the ball? Like, could you technically lube it up and put it in the entrance? I know it's only going to vibrate about half inch.
Yeah, I mean the ball's probably a little bigger than a golf ball, so it's you probably could put it. Yeah.
Or in an ass.
Oh yeah, definitely in an ass. Yeah, I don't know if that attachment it might break. Oh god, that'd be if it broke off in the ass.
That'd be great. What happened? Well, I was therapeutically healing myself, and somehow it just like that's almost one you could get away with. Like in all the excuses when you go into the ER and there's stuff up your ass. And people are just like, yeah, I get it. Yeah, you slipped and fell on a perfectly lubed potato, dumbass.
Yeah.
Sure, true story. But with that, at least you could say, yeah, my partner was using it, and I'm having problems in my glutes, and he fell and tripped, and it snapped off an attachment up my ass, and now you got to go get it, Doc.
Yeah.
Give me some Demerol and lube,
They don't give Demerol anymore, believe it or not.
What?
They don't give Demerol because actually my ex-husband's got a bad back, and there's times where like literally the only thing that cures it would be a shot of Demerol, and this is like every 3, 4, 5 years, not even that often. And the last time he went, when he threw his back out, they're like, we don't give Demerol anymore. We don't even give Toradol anymore. So they're basically yeah.
I'm sure they have it. There's no way they don't have it.
Yeah, you probably have to get admitted, but like going through an ER and you throw your back out, they're like, here's a Tylenol, and like,
here's a Tylenol PM. Thank you, loser, drug chaser, addict people.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you
now,
so much.
Didn't you tell me years ago you used to do chemical play with some of your partners with menthol, like the stuff in Bengay?
Oh, surely, absolutely. As I'm sitting here huffing my literal favorite scent on the earth, which is Ultra Electro-Medicated Balm from Singapore.
Ooh.
Thank you very much, and I huff it. Oh my God, I love it. I love it so much. But yeah, Vicks Vapor Rub or any of those things, yeah, you can put those in. You got to be careful, obviously, because they're a little petroleum-based.
Yes.
And so that means it's not going to go away. Like when we do figging, let's talk about figging. Figging is, for our new listeners, is when you take a ginger root and you carve it into a butt plug and you put it in a butt. And it is a wildly stingy, chemically play thing. But the thing about ginger root is it goes away really quickly. It's water-based. And so it, in a short time, it'll be like crazy painful. And then it goes away relatively quickly. Right. Kind of like when you eat wasabi, almost. I would compare the two. Or the fake horseradish wasabi, whatever. But with these Vicks Vapor Rubs and these kind of jelly-based petroleum jelly kind of rubs, be careful around the ass because it's going to stay a little bit longer. And, of course, you can flush and whatever, but it's still going to take longer to get out. So always do a tester to see how intense it is. How intense it is. Well, if it gets up to your intestines, then you're going to have some
then you're screwed.
Mentholated intestines. Don't know how that's going to work for you, but it might not be good. But these are the things that go up your butt, and give a little swab, just a dab, and then a touch of that to the butthole or the tip of the urethra. Some people do that in pee hole play. And that can be also and everyone responds differently to it. Like some people, it's like, oh my God, 10 shades of red, straight to the ER, swim in a pool like a shark, that's been wounded. That happened to me once. I don't think I've ever shared that story.
No.
There's a big martial arts guy named Gene LaBelle. I think he's passed away now, but he was like a big guy. And my buddy lived across the street, and we were kids. And Gene LaBelle trained all these big martial art guys. And my friend lived next to this guy. I think his name was Gary Davis, and he was a big stunt guy. And he motorcycle stunts and jump motorcycles. And then so all his friends were all like these crazy martial arts stunt guys. And so we would go over there because they had this trampoline basketball game, and we would all get in it and bounce and play this game. And one day Gene LaBelle was there, and he's like super martial arts guy. And so they were torturing us, basically showing all of these different moves, right? And I'm a kid, and I'm like 15 years old, worked out, I'm real strong at that point. And they're like, oh, okay. They choked me. One of the kickboxer guys choked me out, and I went unconscious.
Oh my God.
And I started having a seizure.
Oh,
and then Gene LaBelle, because he doesn't give a fuck about anything, he's waking me up. He literally just grabs the belt buckle, whatever, of my pants and just starts shaking me violently till I woke up. And he's like, hey, that's how you wake him. And I wake up and I'm like, ugh. So then the next thing is they're like, hey, can you do handstand push-ups? I'm like, fuck yeah, I can. And so they're like, oh, well, hold your feet. And it's summer. I'm wearing shorts, right?
Right.
So these guys are all clown. Ha ha, very funny. So I'm doing these handstand push-ups. They're all, oh, you're really strong. And all of a sudden, I don't notice, but one of them had gone to the garage by the motorcycles and grabbed carburetor cleaner and sprayed it down my shorts on my nuts.
Oh! Ow, 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 ow.
Which will freeze your nuts.
Jesus.
And I feel this cold, and all of a sudden, it's just fiery pain. And I go, oh my, and I jump down. They start laughing. I'm in excruciating pain. I'm like, what do I do? What the fuck do I do? See, because what they didn't know is that I had a yeast infection kind of thing next to each of my nuts. And so it was an open flesh wound on both sides. And they just sprayed carburetor cleaner all over that. Which has an oil base to it or whatever, like WD-40. And so it was one of the most painful things I'd ever felt in my life. I'm running in circles. They're laughing because they don't know I have a yeast infection. They think it's just normal. They've done it to guys. It's cold. Ha ha. And I'm like, what? And they're like, what's wrong? And I'm like, ah! And they're all, go jump in the pool. So I jump in this guy's pool, and there's all these hot chicks around or whatever. I jump in the pool. I pull my pants to my ankles, and I'm swimming like a wounded shark in a circle. And these chicks are like, what's going on with you? And I'm like, pain, pain, pain. And I'm swimming around, and then I got out and went to and they're like, they had no idea what was going on. They're all, we've never seen anyone react like that. And they're all, put Vaseline on it. And so I did that, which of course then made it worse again. And so you have to be very careful about your chemical play,
yes,
consensual or non-consensual, because it just might not work.
Yes.
Don't put it on open rash, sore things, whatever.
Play safely.
Did I ever tell you that?
No, that's a complete first for us and the listeners.
But I got to hang out with Gene LaBelle.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay. Yeah. Let's get to a topic. I take it you had no play or anything to talk about.
No, because of my back
right.
and everything. No.
Right.
That's why I made the joke about I'm getting deep thuddy beatings.
All right. Well, we talked about chemical play, so that's still fun. Okay, Path Girl. So this is one, and mostly for our newer listeners. If you're new to Perverted Podcast, now we're both doing it. Podcast, whatever this.
Your podcast.
This thing you're listening to, probably non-consensually. You're taped to a chair, and they're like, we know how to torture a newbie. Listen to this show. But if you are new, welcome to Perverted Podcast. Thank you. I'm just going to read it because I'm apparently now completely retarded. Is it okay if I'm a quote-unquote virgin and I go to play at a kink party just to see what it's like? Okay. Question. Okay, so context. I don't even know what any of these letters are, but they're 24 FTN non-binary. I think it's non-binary.
I think it's female to non-binary. That's what I got from it.
Okay, sure. And she quote unquotes virgin. I always put that in quotes because, like, I've had sex, but it was non-consensual. Whoops. That's awkward.
That's not good, but yeah.
Okay. But she's writing in, very proud of her. And since then, I haven't gotten to the point where I've been comfortable with sex until recently. And like, she says like a lot. And like, which I love because that is how I used to always talk.
Yeah.
And like, I've always been wanting to do and get out and try some things. I'm not interested in a relationship or anything serious yet. And then she talks about her home life, that it wouldn't work for her situation. But I am interested in experimenting and trying new things. I want to be touched. I want to try the things that I haven't got to experience because of the situation she was in and, you know, getting to a level of being okay with herself and comfortable.
Okay.
So this is all good so far. It's a very real curiosity. I found myself enjoying kink content, and I want to try it in a safe environment. I found out about a queer non-binary party at a kink club in my area that is really well known and quite popular, and one of her friends goes. Theirs, whatever, friends goes.
They're friends, yeah.
They're friends. But I'm here like, just like a lot, but I'm here like, can I even show up if I'm not any form experienced and haven't learned anything organically? Do I have to disclose this if I go? I don't want to burden my newish friend with this information and these questions. She gave me an open invitation to join her on the next one that's coming up, but she doesn't have the context of what I've experienced or what I haven't. And I'm scared of being inexperienced in this setting, that it would be selfish in a way, like she's being a burden because she doesn't know stuff and she's gonna I don't know, embarrass the friend or something like that. So yeah, it definitely is like, okay, this is an easy one at its start, that of course everyone's gonna say absolutely you can be a virgin at a kink club, and whether or not you want to talk about that is what we want to get into, and then ways to navigate that. So I'll let you go ahead and go first.
So we've always talked about this, where it's absolutely, you can go to any party you want and see what it's like. We all have to start somewhere. My ex-husband and I, we started going on several different clubs when we lived up in New York, and then we got into lifestyle and we got down here in North Carolina just to kind of look around and see what was going on. But that being said, being completely new, I tend to steer people more toward munches and sloshes because it's kind of out of the dungeon and you get to meet people in the light of day and stuff and get to see that they're actually people in all different walks of life, and kind of just make some friendly faces before you go there. But obviously there are people just basically like, no, I want to go to a party. Let's go.
I want to play.
Okay, fine. I want to play. Yeah. So, there's just two words of caution we've always kind of stressed to the listeners, and we'll just go over them just for, anybody who's new. Hi, welcome. Number one, if you're going to a kink party by yourself as a single female, male, whatever you are, please have a safe call in place. In other words, have somebody on a text message or a phone call that you're going to check in at a prescribed time, or send a little emoji that basically says every half an hour, I'm going to send you a thumbs up. And if I don't send you a thumbs up in a half an hour, please check on me, and things like that. So that way you have a way to get out of a bad situation if you have to. And then on top of that, if you're going to a party, know what party you're walking into. Is this going to be a sex positive party where people are having sex? Is this going to be a no sexual contact? Is this going to be a female domination night where it's going to be all female dominance? Is this going to be a gay party? Whatever it may be. Is this party going to be at somebody's house that we need to be extra aware of? Contact your party organizers. They can give you a crash course on like, hey, this is the people that come, and maybe they can even introduce you to things. I was kind of struck with her, obviously her putting the virgin in quotes, and like that she really wants to start being touched and kind of exploring all this. I'm just trying to put myself in their shoes, where it'd be like, I'd want to go to a party too by myself and just kind of look around and kind of decide where that my limit's going to be, because obviously they probably have some trauma or some feelings associated with being touched in a sexual way. And we've said it for years that the majority of kink does not involve sex, but it can if you want to. But even like there's times that like my top doc or even my husband Donis, like they'll grab my boobs during a scene, and it's not in a sexual way. It's just going to hit my boobs or going to hit my butt or grab my vag or whatever. Kind of deciding where that limit's going to be would be a huge step for that person in the beginning. But especially also, we also said about like disclosing to people about being new, you might want to hold off on that because you got certain people who kind of prey upon that. They're like, oh, you know nothing about kink. I'm going to school you in the ways of kink, or I'm going to mentor you. No. You want to stay away from those people. So crash course into all that is basically, you can go as a virgin and go and observe. And then when you decide, okay, now I want to go play, then you have to have another conversation with yourself.
I think all of those things, great points, fantastic points. A lot of those
Crash
things
course.
are in my notes as well. And I have to start by saying that going along with the same things, they're going with a friend,
right?
So that's obviously going to be really good. I love the idea of contacting the promoter and finding out. It's literally, if you don't know what, like you were talking about, they don't know what's going to trigger them or what is going to happen at any touch whatsoever. So the easier you make this on yourself, the better your entry. Don't go to a sex party. Find out and make sure that it's a kinky party that doesn't allow penetrative sex.
Yes.
Maybe there's certain, because all parties have different levels, like you said. There's swingers parties where everyone's going to be, fucking. And then there's sex parties, or there's parties that are kinky and sex is allowed. But, I've been in tons of parties where sex was allowed, full sex was allowed, all types. And most people just don't do it because they play and maybe they'll do vibrators and, they'll do certain levels of touch. But you really, if you're going in without a lot of experience and you really don't know yourself at this point, you have a lack of experience in knowing what you like. You just know you're now starting to get some feelings and you're, oh, I'm curious about this, I'm curious about that. But you don't really know. So if you make sure that you go to a party that doesn't allow, penis to vagina or, mouth to vagina, penis to vagina, mouth to orifice, whatever the combination is, and that it's only a touch only, like a hands only kind of situation, that's going to be a bigger difference. In the scale, I'm going to go with you. I don't mind people saying they're new. And yes, it does mean that people can bring out the people who are a little more predatory. But I think it's important that certain people know that you are new. Like your friend needs to know you're new. The event organizer, it would be good if they understood, if they're going to show you around and whatever. But it's important because people need to know because there's going to be hopefully ethical people at the party who are going to take your newness and be protective and help explain things to you. And that's where you're going to get a lot of that new person information. You don't want to kind of come in and tell everyone that, I'm a total veteran, because then nobody's going to tell you any of the newbie stuff.
Yeah.
And that newbie stuff for me was vital. I walked right in. Miss D sat me down. She said, "You don't know what the fuck you're doing?" I said, "Pretty much." And so she, we talked for hours and got me into classes and those things. So I don't think it's bad. The virgin thing, I would say, is nobody's business. It's just nobody's fucking business. I have played with 3 virgins. Okay. They told me, you can tell people. And they said, I am a virgin, so I'm not interested in sex. And I am interested in these things. And it was very good. They totally advocated for themselves. I was fine because those parties didn't allow sex anyway. And I don't want to necessarily do that. And I don't want a virgin. I have absolutely, that is like, there's people that are like, virgin, oh, I got to have you. It's got to be me. And I'm like, bro, no, my entire life, my age, old man, never had a virgin. Let's ride that out into the sunset. But some people are going to be very predatory because they want to be the first person that you have sex with.
Yeah.
Kink versions, on the other hand, oh yeah, I love fucking corrupting kink virgins. That's, that's kink, but sexually, no. So it's not necessary that you tell people that, but you can tell them I'm new and I don't have a lot of experience, so I just need to do things very slowly, and I need you to explain everything that you're going to do to me.
Right.
So, and that is where we get into another suggestion. If somebody, like, you meet somebody there and you're like, oh, this is a nice person, they're talking real nice and they sound like they care about me and they're talking very beginner level to me, maybe I want to try some things with them. In that situation, do yourself a favor, have your friend sit with you in the negotiation if you can.
Yes.
And that way, because if your friend has experience and you don't, then you can just sit, and anyone worth their salt is going to be okay with that. I've done it a bunch of times. We've talked about it on the show. It's not a problem. If it helps the new person feel more comfortable, especially because there's been trauma. If you're somebody that hasn't had trauma and you're self-aware and you've done a lot of research, but you can handle your own negotiation, that's fine. But if you really don't know what to ask, because if you're new, you're not going to think about asking about trigger words and safeties and there's a lot of stuff that can go wrong for somebody who has triggers and doesn't even know what those are going to be.
Yes.
Do you want to add on to that? Or?
No, well, and I was about to say, like, even some of our local dungeons, if you don't have somebody, a friend to help you negotiate, some of our DMs are nice enough to, like, sit in on negotiations.
DMs
kind of like, they'll sit in and just kind of like, say, give questions about, like, the stupid, obvious stuff, like, hey, do you have any medical problems? Do you have any history we need to know about? Or, things like that.
Where is it okay to touch? Where is it not okay to touch? And that should be any negotiation where you're playing with someone new. Where is it okay to touch and where is it not okay to touch? And if you set those boundaries right up front, it doesn't matter if you're new or old. That's a question that you ask. I asked that after 20 years. Where can I touch? Where can't I touch? And that. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, I was about to say, because I was going to say something else about, like, burdening the new friend, where it's just basically, I get that, like, you don't want to be a stage 5 clinger to this person. Is like, hey, here's this kinky lifestyle, and you get interested in it, and it's like, oh my God, I need to learn everything. And then that friend's like, okay, you're sucking on to me too much. That's why I was kind of leaning with the, go to a munch, go to a slosh. And because it's just like, even that friend that you go with may want to do a scene on their own. And then you're left by yourself and you're kind of like looking around and it's like, okay, I'm just going to either watch their scene, or if they're doing something that I'm not interested in, it's like, where am I going to put my eyes? I've always encouraged people, go to munches, go to sloshes, make kinky friends. So that way, when you walk into an event, you'd be like, oh, hey, I remember you from the slosh. How you doing? And blah, blah, blah. And just like, then you got kind of people introduce you to other people. And then that your comfort level grows with that also, because like you may see somebody doing a scene and something kinky that you saw and that this person was talking about they wanted to try, and then they see it in real life and you're like, no, I don't want to do that. Or they may go, oh wow, yeah, I really want to try that,
Right. I think as far as the friend is concerned, and this should be across the board, if you're going to a new place and they know you are new and they are inviting to take you, you can ask them specifically, I don't know what I'm doing. Are you going to abandon me to go play? Or you can negotiate with your friend, because you're going to know, like, if there's a common area in the club, like a kitchen area or an open lobby where there's no play allowed, like, at Doorway, there was no, there was a lobby where there was absolutely no play allowed. And in the kitchen, there was no play allowed. So if your friend's going to go play, you can just go hang out in the kitchen and have conversations with people and whatever, if that's available. If it's not available, then it's okay to tell your friend, hey, if you're going to go play with somebody, I need to be able to either watch the play or you can't abandon me.
Right. Even the play, but even the aftercare too, because some people like to do aftercare in private. I mean, there's plenty of times in our public dungeons, people do public scenes and then they go off to an aftercare room and it's just basically supposed to be quiet in there. So it's just like, okay, they've done the scene and now they're in the aftercare and you're kind of like, la, 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 la. So,
I mean, just to be honest, if you're the friend with experience and you invite a complete newbie to go to a dungeon, they're yours.
Yeah, it's your responsibility.
They're yours. They're yours
Yeah.
for the night. You are bringing them, and so you can ask them. Like I've had people come that were brand new and family, not family members, but other people's family members, and I was supposed to watch and things like that. And you can ask them, "Are you okay hanging out here while I go do something?" And they either say yeah, or they give you that look like, "Please don't fucking leave me."
Yeah,
they're yours. They're yours. You invited them, and you're like, okay, well then I'm not going to play tonight.
Yeah.
And that's because you can't abandon somebody.
Exactly.
You can't, because that's a shitty first experience for them. You want to be the carrier. You want to be the ferryman that carries them over the tumultuous river into the world of kink.
Right.
Then be a good ferryman.
Yes.
And don't throw them off the boat into the river.
Yeah, because even times that before Adonis and I got together, there were times like I would bring either a guy I was dating or a friend that wanted to go to a dungeon, like, and I would ask them, it would be okay. Is it okay if I play with like Doc tonight, for example? And either I would play to the point where I wouldn't get too spacey, and after the scene, I'd kind of like, sit with Doc for a minute or two and then go back to that friend, or the once or twice where I thought it might be hard, I would purposely introduce that new person to 2 or 3 of my friends and say, hey, Boogie, this is my friend this, and this is my friend that. And that way, like when I would go do a scene, I'd kind of say to my friends, hey, do me a favor, keep an eye on them, and especially if I have to leave for whatever, just so way I know that person's covered and they're not, sitting there all by themselves going, well, crap, where'd she go? So, and, take care of your friends, especially if you have any newbies around you. That's a great thing.
I've seen it go bad.
Oh, yeah.
I've seen it's like they bring the new friend in and the friend just has eyes the size of saucers and they're terrified. And then they're like, oh, I'm going to go do this. Fend for yourself.
Yeah.
And it's like the only good news in this situation. And once again, you can't know unless you've been to the dungeon or know what that specific community's views on new people is.
Yeah.
But in general, the hope is we're all kind of looking for newbies to see, make sure that people are okay. And there's usually going to be quite a few people in the dungeon that maybe aren't playing that night and they're just there to be social. And they do take people. I've done it. I can't even count how many times guys come in and they're terrified. And I'm like, all right, bro, we're going to have the 30-minute, cheerleader conversation. And I'm going to, tell you how things were, whatever, because they come in, they're just clueless. And because in a sense, you also don't want that person going in and trying stupid stuff and making mistakes with other people. So a lot of the people that have been there a while, if they have time and they're not in a play scene, then we're all kind of trying to just make sure that it's a better experience for everyone. And we want to see good people come back. So we don't want to see people get scared, both, male and female. We want good people in the dungeon. If you're a douchebag and you're socially an asshole, then we're going to pretty much not make you feel welcome.
Yeah.
And that's just the reality. But if you're trying to be polite and courteous and have conversations and ask honest questions, there's dungeons out there where they're just very newbie friendly. Threshold used to be very newbie friendly in a lot of senses. There were nights where it was better and worse, but in general, there was a number of people that really did kind of look out and try to at least put out the hand and make sure you feel welcome. But until you get to that dungeon, you don't know what it is. You could get into a wildly cliquey dungeon where people ignore you and, don't really explain things to you. And in that situation, you really are going to have to lean on your friend. And hopefully your friend understands that. But there's nothing wrong with being new, and there's nothing wrong with being a virgin. Because the things that this person said in this post are the exact same things that I heard from the people that identified as being virgins. Right. They still want, they aren't ready to commit to the sex for whatever the reason is. None of my fucking business. Fine.
Yeah.
It's none of the, but they are interested in touch. They are interested, and a lot of people who are virgins and aren't ready to explore sexually still have desires and feelings.
Yes.
And especially bottoms, that intensity still triggers similar things. There's still a level of eroticism around it, but they feel safe that they don't have to commit to sex. So it's surprising how many virgins do go to BDSM dungeons and stay. I'm going to wait till I get married. I had a trauma and I'm not interested in being sexual. I'm asexual, but I want to do kink. Like, there's so many different reasons that people get into kink. And we just want you to know that that's normal and surprisingly common and not a big deal.
Yeah. Go have fun. Make some friends.
Fun. Go have fun. And to the friend, don't abandon your friend.
Yeah. No. And another point, a lot of dungeons, they do walkthrough for newbies. Go on the walkthrough with your friend, please.
Yeah, take the orientation. If there's an orientation class and they give you do all the learning stuff you can. Get as much information you can. And find out. A lot of dungeons have a class always right before the play party. And so a lot of people go to the class, whatever it is, if it's a rope class or this class or that class. And sometimes it's a big orientation for the dungeon. And some clubs make you go to an orientation before you can actually come to the club. Go to whatever you can. Go to whatever you can and learn whatever you can.
And have fun. Get your ass beat. Yay!
Uncle Creepy lurks around your bedroom. Once you're in his clutch, he penetrates the places where your mama said that good girls shouldn't touch.
Uncle Creepy.
What's up, everybody?
Oh, heavens to Murgatroyd!
You've been.
Oh man, I am terrified. I can't move. I'm sitting here. Have you ever? And you're a dude, so we're gonna go bro right now. Just gonna go bro for all of our Perverted Podcast listeners. Uncle Creepy and I are very similar in our, shall we say, lack of grace. Our lack of physical grace, our lack of mental grace. And
Ogre prowess.
Ogre prowess, yeah, very much. I don't know about you. Can you feel like when you're having a day, you're like, I'm going to do stupid shit today?
Yeah.
Like today is the day I've been already spilling coffees and doing, and things are just not lining up. And my mouth is like, bleh, and you're like, I'm in danger.
That was me yesterday. Yesterday was clumsy, dumb, creepy. Today was like, I got to be cool. I got to be collected. I got all my shit ready. Mina's at the house with me, so I got to be cool for her. We already did something fun this morning, and now I'm going to be good. And I'm going to project that strength and agility to you, because I know you tend to get head injuries when you're in that fucking storage shed. So
the door was half open today when I came in. I'm like, bro, it's
trying to kill you.
It's gonna. The last head injury is still not healed, and I'm like, at least let it heal. Don't injure on top of injure. So
it's going to be the worst spot, and you're going to double up on injuries. Just to start taking out your brain.
Just literally, my hands are folded. I have my notes, everything, my coffee that hopefully I won't spill all over my lap and burn my giant testicles, which is likely.
It happens.
And so why don't you just go ahead and tell us, before I get into any more trouble, tell us about some sort of kinky adventure you've had.
Yeah. So yesterday played with a new person. A lot of fun. She's very, very giving. I'll tell you that. She's probably going to listen to the show, but I haven't asked her if she can be on it, so I won't say her name. And we all got together in the polycule. Me, Mina, Plushie, who has given me permission to say her name. And this other person, we all got together and we kind of just hung out, watched a comedy show. They all teamed up on me, which is a good sign. In brattiness, no slobber nobbins just yet. So it was a good day yesterday, but this morning we're going to a party on Saturday, and it's like an enchanted forest party or something. So I'm dressing up, and I'm going to do a tea party with Mina, 2 other girls, and this person. I'm going to dress up as a wolf and have a tea party. But
like a Little's tea party or
Dolly's
just
tea party?
A Dolly's tea party. So are they all Littles or?
A couple of them are, yeah. But I was like, well, let's just do Dolly's, so I control everything you do. I want to be in control. You're my
so
toys.
When you see Dolly's, they're all dolls, and so you're the princess.
Yeah, I'm the prince. Yeah, honestly, yeah.
You're the princess that has all the dolls do what they do.
Exactly, or just the creepy guy who's kidnapped these young ladies to do as he please. Because I'm going to make them touch each other's boobs and stuff,
Nice.
But Mina has lost a lot of weight lately. She has been working very hard.
Congratulations, Mina. I'm
kind of the instigator for that because I was always taking her out and just, but at my work, I get to take home some of the lost and found shit. And a couple of months ago, I took a wedding dress home. And it was always too tiny. This is like a really tiny, tight dress. And I said something, and I can't remember what triggered my mind, but she said, like, what can I wear that's like fantasy, virginal thing? And I was like, oh my God, I got it. And I dragged her into the office where we have our costumes, and in my closet was the wedding dress. And she's like, there's no way I'm going to fit in this. And I was like, we're going to try this. So we get her into it. It's kind of snug, but it fit her just right. Like all her curves came out, everything came by. She looked up at me, and that was it. I was like, that's coming off. And I pulled the dress down. I opened it up. I bent her over the couch, and I just fucked her because all the pieces fit into place, and I couldn't control myself. I had no control. And of course she's loving it, and she's like, oh, I'm just, this is my first time, go slow and everything. I'm just like, yeah, fuck you, bitch, you're getting fucked, like you're mine now. I think at one point I said something about a dowry being paid and that she's mine, and
I gave your family 5 goats. You will be on my cock tonight.
That's right. Those 2 camels didn't pay for nothing. But yeah, and now she had to go take a nap because it was just an early morning fuck and just a lot of activities. So
fucking
that's my
horrible.
Day.
What a horrible day. I'm very sad for you, but very cool.
Okay,
it is kind of cool. And that's I love the fact that you have a costume closet, and because I remember when I used to have tons of costumes, and it is so much fun. And you can, if you do thrift stores, and like you get to take stuff from Lost and Found after it's been there a few months, it's such a great tool. Because you can literally be like, hey, let's spice something up tonight. And it's like, oh, let's, okay, Professor Snape and a Harry Potter fantasy. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, well, what do we have? We have this doctor's coat that we got for $3 at a thrift store. All right, it's time for an exam. Okay. Or there's so many. It really is. Obviously you can spend a lot of money and get into the more advanced cosplays and stuff like that, which of course is amazing and hot. But even just on the economic friendly kind of way to do it, you can easily have just a bag, a suitcase that just has a number of little things that just don't look like what you look like. And that little bit, even if it's, you have some wigs, and this goes for the men and the women too. If there's some wigs in there that give you a different look, you can, also slick your hair back and put on a wig and just enjoy that being different. And it just takes it makes the normal thing you do all of a sudden new and exciting. We haven't talked a lot about cosplay.
I can
straight up in a while, but you do it all the time.
I do it every day. So all of my costumes are thrifted. I usually go to various gift shops or, thrift stores and look at stuff and be like, okay, this is what I could use in the future. We've kind of gotten better because, we used to buy like thousands of costumes in advance, just so much. So now we focus on the individual scene. But what we're doing now is we have 3 main costumes that we're working on that are really, really good. About $400 or $500 in total. Mina bought. Are you familiar with the Twi'leks of Star Wars? The little sexy aliens with the head tail things. They're usually like slaves in Jabba's palace. Yeah. Mina got a really nice headpiece that she's gonna wear. And
wow!
We're gonna do some sexy stuff with that. Both
are you gonna be Jabba? Or are you gonna go Chuda?
Baka Chewbacca. Yeah.
Baka Chew. Can I be like the little guy that sits there and goes,
Salacious Crumb? Yeah, absolutely, dude.
With that weird bird beak. That's how I feel sometimes. Actually,
Wookiee lizard monkey. Wookiee and lizard monkey or something like that.
What the fuck? It just looks wrong. It terrified me. I was like, but I loved it at the same time. But it is kind of cool. And going back to that, it's also something that can be like a fun hobby together to where you have a specific goal. Like, okay, I want to be a 1970s professor and you're going to be a 70s, college student or whatever, whatever your dynamic
free spirit
is.
Hipster, something rather.
And, or you're trying to pass your class and then you can't, we're going to do like a teacher student role play, even if it's some common ones. And then you go pick it in an era like, oh, we want to do it 80s or 70s or, 60s if you can find a thrift store that's old. And then it's kind of fun because now you're going out together and it's like building that anticipation because you're not going to do your scene until you find the right, $15 outfit. You know what I mean? And it's like you guys can go, oh, we're going to hit these things. And then, oh, here's a garage sale that's an estate sale from somebody that was really old, so you have a better chance of getting those older clothes, like some polyester suits and, stuff like that. And it can be really fun. And it really isn't that expensive. And it makes such a difference.
It builds, it builds like the anticipation of getting to see what your partner's creating and you can kind of bounce off of each other. And, sometimes I'm a bit more creative with like fantastical ideas, but Mina tends to be more grounded in, okay, we can't do it that way, but we could do this and adjust this and then everything works like you pretty much wanted it to be. So
yeah,
it's a great group activity for us is putting these costumes together.
Lots of fun. I love how we just kind of segued into that, but it really, especially for our newer listeners and because it is true. A lot of people come to Perverted Podcast because they want ideas and they want to hear new things to do. And this is once again, whether you're new or old, cosplay and role plays and costuming a little bit, it makes a huge impact on your sex life together and does build a lot of fun and intimacy, and it spices you've heard that term for 50 years. Let's spice things up. It really, really does. Yeah, so let's get on to a topic that also deals with people that are into spice. This is the worst segue I've ever done.
Yeah.
As I'm saying, I'm like, no, that actually makes no, it doesn't.
I want to segue by saying that I love to engage in specific kinks, Boogie.
Oh God, it's happening!
Yes, God. This is the best show ever. Hey, Boogie, do you like when stuff happens to your wiener? Let's talk about what this stuff
wiener.
is.
Look, I'm just going to open the goddamn door, bang my head in it, and get it fucking over with.
Yeah. Today on Perverted Podcast, so what can concussions do for you?
Oh, my God.
You're doing good, bud.
Happened. Here we are. Well, we'll do our best to get through. I think so far, so bad.
Yeah.
So somebody wrote in something on the Reddits, and And it's very near, I know it's very near and dear to Uncle Creepy and my heart, but it's once again one of those things where as I think a little deeper and try to find a new angle, because we've talked about things like this before, that it's wonderful to just go to that next layer and say, what can be bad about this? Because in a sense, this is going to sound mostly good.
Yeah.
So this person writes, what is it called? A dom who likes engaging a sub's kinks because he likes seeing the pleasure his sub gets, regardless of most whatever kink it is. I have a daddy that I'm seeing, not romantically, and he really emphasizes a lot he likes to do what I like and is very enthusiastic about what I like. He's into littles and pets mainly, both of which I am into. But most kinks I bring to him, he'll be like, oh, yeah, totally, why not? And gets really into it regardless, really, of what kink it is, as long as he sees that I'm feeling very good. There are some things that excite him, of course, but he really likes dabbling in tons of stuff, regardless of what kinks they are. There are exceptions, of course, but mostly he just likes doing everything as long as he gets that satisfaction that he's pleased me. What would this be called? There is a technical term for this, Uncle Creepy, and I looked it up, and it's called a keeper.
Oh.
That's what you call that. That's called a keeper. You got someone that does things that you like to do? It's a fucking keeper.
Get out of here. You scumbag.
Get out of here. That's the joke. That's my only joke for today. So now, of course, there's a lot of terms thrown around. Daddy Dom, pleasure sadist, service Dom, frog catcher, whatever the fuck ever. I mean, there's a million terms for this, but let's go ahead and you go ahead and start with your points of view, because we're both similar on this. I definitely am. I lean into this character very much, the type of person that loves that positive reaction and reinforcement when I do something that my submissive likes. But there are pitfalls to that, and we'll talk about that.
I'm hoping you have some, because I can't think of any. Well, for this, it sounds awfully like me. I'm all for anything kinky. I like to call myself, and I believe a friend of Spike said that they like to be called a reactionist. They like to do things and see what happens. And that's how I've started to identify myself. I used to consider myself this, which I believe is a pleasure dom, would be something very close to this.
Maybe. Yeah.
But reactionist is definitely what I feel this person is. They enjoy doing the things that somebody likes, or maybe not likes, but
they enjoy the positive reaction. It's not a negative reaction, because the sadist likes a negative reaction. So you're talking about a positive reaction. So when you say reactionist, what you would need to clarify positive or
negative,
or negative, because in this case it's positive, right? No,
well, I think if you say reactionist, the reaction that you give is genuine to whatever I do to you, regardless of, but in regard to the consent that you've given me. Like, I can't shoot you with a gun and be like, ha ha ha, that's exactly what I loved, and
what a reaction.
Yeah. Oh, I finally can orgasm. No, I think if you previous to what you do, you say, hey, I have this implement. I would like to see how it feels on you, or how you react, without them kind of knowing exactly what the implement is. I think that's where a reactionist moves in here. But like you said, I'm looking at this, and for a moment I was like, what's the catch, Boogie? Like, other than what I was thinking of, this could eventually become boring, perhaps?
Yes.
Aha.
You have found a key thing. Yes, I'm definitely going to go on that, but you continue if you have more.
Yeah, I think if it becomes constantly, and I believe this would be a one-sided relationship, am I correct? If this person is not doing the things that they enjoy, wouldn't that be a one-sided relationship? I think that's where I'm starting to skew, and my what's the catch meter goes off with this one.
I'm with you on this, and it really is. Once you start to think about it, because at first it sounds amazing. You're like, oh my God, this person loves to see me happy. They love to see me do things that I love to do and experience those things. He or she is flexible in their kinks, because we like, like you and I like 10,000 different kinks. So to me, it's like I'm looking for those reactions and yes, that validation and all of those things. But I'm kind of flexible. So it's like, oh, if this person likes spanking, I love spanking. And I also love needles, and I love fire, and I love all these things. So for me, it's kind of like I'm a lot more flexible. But it's interesting. You would think, oh, this is just a complete win-win. He likes the validation. She loves all the types of play. What could possibly go wrong with this? Well, it's easy to live in a candy store and get whatever you want, but it's also easy to get bad teeth if that's all you eat.
Oh, yeah.
See, because if you're just a bottom, if you're just, you're in a relationship with someone and it's just like a top bottom kind of thing, and there aren't those needs to submit and there aren't those needs to dominate, then you can have a great top bottom relationship and just do things that you like, and maybe explore a little bit and try new things. But if you need dominance and you're submissive, you're going to need to be challenged at some point. You're going to need things that are actually require you to submit, because submitting in nature is doing things that challenge you, that you don't necessarily like, that you haven't tried, that you think are not going to be enjoyable, but you are doing those because you have a desire to be of service to a dominant. You have that desire to give up yourself. You're not giving anything up if you're doing it, if he's doing everything you fucking want. There's no challenge there. You're not growing in your service to somebody. There's no challenge. Does that make sense?
It does make sense, but my question to that would be, is that bad? If you are happy and content with the interaction and the relationship, is it always destined to fail, or would there be a moment in which this is almost like a, close to perfect relationship?
It can be progressive.
Sure. Yeah.
You're taking it at face value today. So, of course, if you guys are both happy, and we talked about that a little bit before, if you guys are both happy, great. Just keep doing what makes you happy.
Okay.
But know that's today. The world changes every day. Every second, every millisecond, things are changing and growing. And the person you are today that thinks this is all great, in 3 weeks could be bored shitless. In 3 weeks could start resenting somebody because they look like a fucking pussy because they always do what you want. I've seen it.
Yeah.
I've seen this over and over. I've been dumped for being that pussy. So if this person needs to submit and if this dominant needs to dominate, eventually this agreement of doing everything that the submissive likes and only that will start to corrupt and start to develop feelings that are unsatisfied. And when you start having unsatisfied feelings, all of a sudden now you can build resentments. And if you don't communicate heavily through that, you can build resentments, and then all of a sudden it becomes unfulfilling. And then it's like, oh, here I go. I'm the ATM again. Even though nobody said anything, and even if long ago it was said, hey, if you want to do something, tell me. Because sometimes we forget what we thought a year ago. Things changed. Life changes. Everything comes in. So if you aren't cognizant, if you don't keep that in the forefront that, hey, I have wants and desires too, and it's okay if they don't like this, especially if you're the dominant, because you're not the dominant if you're not leading. I want to pivot into another point of the psychology of why we do this. From the dominant, we understand now. We've talked that there can be some things, and there needs to be dominance and submission. And if you each need that, then there does need to be a point where the dominant says, whether you like this or not, this is what we're going to do with consent, negotiation, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
But we're going to do this. I'm going to lead. You need to be challenged here. You have talked about these are the things your school, your exercise, blah, 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 whatever the thing is that they need work with. At some point, if you are the dominant, you need to be the leader. Otherwise, if they need a leader, you're not it. You're just the fluffy kitten that does whatever they want. And now the dynamic is kind of changed.
Yeah.
So we've talked about that. But the psychology behind this, and I don't know if you're willing to get vulnerable, but I am. So
I'm down. Let's do
okay.
it.
Why do I like doing things that my partner loves? And I'm a man, she's a woman. What is at its core? Now, of course, being considerate, whether you're in kink or not, being considerate is an amazing quality. That means you take somebody's needs and wants into consideration, and that you see the benefit of both of us getting something that we want. That's basic, goes back to early lizard brain social skills. You have a gourd, I have a rock. We each do something together. We have gourd rock, and it makes, something, that's beneficial to the tribe. When it comes to this pleasing thing, I've noticed in myself, especially early on, that a lot of it started that approval that I want, that validation that I want, that I'm a god for doing so many things that she likes. And it sounds funny, but it's true.
Yeah.
I want women to look at me like I'm a fucking god. I want them to look at me like I'm really, really good at something, which means they won't abandon me because I'm so good at something. I do so many things that are so good for them. Then it's less likely that they're going to want to dump me for some other fucking asshole.
Yeah, I say that I want them to consider me as air, that they cannot live without me. That kind of a thing. Is that where you're?
No, yeah. Absolutely. You are. I am the air you breathe.
Yeah, man. Like that's like
great.
It's greater than a god. Like you could live without a god, but you can't live without
true.
air. So yeah.
It's true. I'll give you the point on that one. So it's in that sense, if you have a unhealthy sense of self, if you have an unhealthy sense of self-worth, these things can become codependent. Like you, I need your validation for me to feel good about yourself. And that starts getting into sketchy waters. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but what I'm guessing you're going to say what kind of waters? Like, how does that make it sketchy for you?
Well, it makes it sketchy because I'm no longer in a relationship with a person. I'm in a battle with my own insecurities, and I'm now using this person's validation as a fix,
as a coping method.
It's not this person anymore. I'm not attracted to this particular woman with her personalities and thoughts and ideas. I am getting this fulfillment. She's now almost an object. And that can start to break.
Yeah.
She is an object. So, which in a sense, everything's transactional, blah, 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 blah.
Right, yeah.
About that.
We're moving past that, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the other thing that I am doing is, after years and years and years of hearing all the endless stories of shitty men and, abuse and greed and inconsideration and this and that, in the back of my mind, not only am I trying to up my level of godlikeness by not being like them, I'm trying to get over the hurt that I had from all these guys that kicked sand in my face when I was younger. All of these, because all the, a lot of the confused dominant personality, they were basically assholes, but it came off as dominant. And a lot of women that seek dominance, that's why women don't go with assholes because they're assholes. They go with assholes is because assholes have a very high sense of self-worth, even though it's negative, and that looks like confidence, And that confidence appears with some dominant characteristics. So they're not looking for the asshole parts. They're looking for the dominance, and assholes tend to be more dominant.
Interesting.
In a relationship. So figure that was a big thing for me to figure out, because, you know, when you're young, you're all, chicks always like the assholes. They go, I should just be an asshole because girls like assholes. Yeah. And until I really got into the lifestyle and understood the dynamic of dominance and submission, I was like, oh, they're not looking for assholes. They just want somebody that's dominant. And unfortunately, they didn't learn that that's not healthy dominance. That's an asshole. And so but it's true for if you're a person that's a submissive, male or female, if you're looking for that dominance, the sex, you want someone that takes control in the bedroom, and you want someone that and so a lot of men and women stay in very unhealthy relationships with an asshole because that is there because of that, some of those dominant characteristics. And in our lifestyle, we learn we can just get rid of we can still be considerate, we can still be compassionate, we can still be a good communicator and validate our partner and still be a dominant that takes control.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree.
So if you're just competing against men, which is what I was doing in my head, that if I make her come and she's got a smile on her face and she says, this is great, this is so much fun, I feel so good, I feel safe. Oh my God, when a woman tells me she feels safe in my place, that's like, oh God.
Oh yeah.
I just middle finger, but once again, it can be negative because at that point my middle finger goes up, not at her. I'm going at all those guys that I'm competing against, all those assholes that stole women from me in my younger days.
And then now she's just an object again, right?
And once again, she can become an object. So if you're constantly only doing the things that she likes so you can get that validation, power corrupts. It can corrupt you in a negative way. You have to stay in that zone where you're still like, wait a minute, what about this person? Does that make any sense?
No, it makes great sense because through my years of becoming, more of a service top to becoming with Mina more dominant, we've had discussions where I've said, I feel bad telling you what to do. I feel bad taking that control from you because I want you to be strong and independent. But what I've learned through, conversations with you and conversations and talks with other dominants is that they want that release. It comes from taking that dominance and fighting for her every day. That give and take of that power exchange, I think is something that can be fought for every day. And I think when you said that with stuff changing every day, every millisecond, that give and take of the power exchange is what can change. And we can adapt and grow in that moment and stop being comfortable. And I've taken lots of risks lately. Very much so. I like that CNC scene could have gone horribly wrong. Any of the takedown scenes I've done recently could have been injury. Like I found myself researching different things and activities to do to kind of put forth a more dominant role for Mina, especially. And we had a big, long conversation in the car about things that I'm going to start asking her to do. And she's like, I've wanted that for so long. And I'm just like, wait, what? What?
Yeah.
Like, I didn't know. Because, I knew, but I didn't implement it. So now, even though she said, oh, I had a terrible day at work, it's been so hard, I can now be I can say, okay, well, here's a blanket, calm down, relax. I'd be like, all right, here's what I need, get me at this point, and then we'll put you into bed, we'll get you a nap, or I'll make dinner for you. I'll do all these very dominant things to continue our relationship, but it's not going to diminish what your feelings are of the night. I can have that change of of fighting for you every day, and that's kind of where my mentality is now.
I think it's that balance. I mean, it takes years. I mean, geez, I'm an older guy, and this is something that doesn't happen overnight.
No,
you go through these. It's just, there's so much life involved in this, and that's one of the benefits of learning. That's one of the benefits of investing a portion of your life to, how do we do this? How do we do this? How do we communicate? There's so much, and it's not even just about how do I change, like how am I listening to my partner?
Yeah.
Because if you listen, which once again, I know it sounds stupid, but when you're a young guy and you're just like, talk, it's all about me. I know everything. I know everything about men and women and dogs and cats and blah, blah. At some point when you're talking to someone, you have to really go, what's behind what they're saying? Yeah, and what are those needs that are there?
Yeah, there's what I can't remember how it goes, but there's a difference between hearing somebody and listening to someone. And I believe hearing someone is just getting to the point where they stop talking so you can start talking. And hearing is getting to the point where you've understood what they've said, processed it, and now you can put forth your thoughts and ideas. I think that's what changes between hearing and listening. And I wasn't listening. And I think once I started to calm down and know that once the conversation has a pause in it, I don't need to put my thoughts and everything, and I don't need to dump all the godlike, knowledge that I've gained into it. I need to listen to what's going on and, say what is relevant to the situation. And I think once that started, I've become a better dominant, and I've become, a true listener now. And I hope to even get even better with this. So.
Yeah, it's not going to stop. I mean, we've been doing this a long time.
Yeah.
Still making mistakes.
Yep.
Still, a lot of this stuff sounds really good.
Yeah, implementing.
Yeah, implementing. Still working on those. It's definitely better. I'm definitely better at this and finding this balance. And I'm definitely I can look back at much earlier versions of me and see how much I suffered just because I didn't know things. And that's so important when you come to a situation like this, to where you get one idea in your head. Oh, if I just do everything she likes, she'll like me.
She has to. Yeah.
She'll just like me because I'm doing everything she likes. And that's if she's looking for a dominant, then you're not it.
You'll be boring.
And you'll become boring after a while because, there's tons of people. And there's nothing wrong with being a service top. I don't like the term service dom because you're not being a dominant.
Yeah.
So you call it service top. So, you can call it a pleasure dom, I suppose, whatever. Look, the word doesn't matter.
Semantics.
Yeah, it's semantics. Have a conversation with somebody and figure out what you want and they want, and then you'll be able to figure out what you got. But if you have somebody that genuinely enjoys doing things that you like to do and is interested in you feeling good and having pleasure in any relationship, non-kinky, kinky, work relationship, family relationship, that's a keeper. That's somebody you want to be around because that's somebody who considers you. And in and of itself, it's a very positive thing. But those underlying motives are what you don't know that can actually be bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. We cured it. We cured
service boredom.
Top.
Service
boredom.
topic. Yep.
Yeah.
I'd like to say, I've moved away from titles. I go with reactionist because it's kind of just like a blanket term. But like, if I want somebody to be my dinky donkey do, then that's our conversation between us, and they've become my dinky donkey do. And whatever that encompasses, you know, it keeps it safe. It keeps it spontaneous. And I like that chaos that comes with it. So I'm with you that I don't like the titles because it's like, well, you said service dom, but you're not dominant, and you know, or it's a top, and it's like, well, in the long run, just get out there and be fucking kinky. Don't be afraid to communicate and get your jollies up, man. What gets your dick wet?
Here, here. Here, here. We have cured the world.
Thank you. Send all money to pervertedpodcast@gmail.com, care of Uncle Creepy.
Podcast. And that is the end of show 448. Thank you for joining us. If you have any questions, comments, or topics you'd like us to talk about, please reach out to us at pervertedpodcast@gmail.com or find us on TikTok and Instagram under the name Perverted Podcast. And on FetLife, there is both a group and a page. Please help support the show by liking this episode and subscribing to the show. And don't forget to share the show with your kinky friends to help other kinksters like you find us. And if you'd like to support the show a little bit more, please go to our Patreon at patreon.com/pervertedpodcast and sign up for our $5 if you give a fuck level, and you become a pee-pee sugar zombie. With that support, you get our show a few days early and our Patreon exclusive half a pee-pee episodes where all of us together, and of course, love and smushy kisses to our patrons around the world. Your support means the world to us.
Thank you, Path Girl. Thank you, Uncle
Thank you,
Creepy.
Boogie.
And thank you to all of our lovely listeners. And we'll see you on the next big show.